Hello YouTube, this is Aspire. I wanted to give you guys a definitive guide to anti-airing in Street Fighter V, primarily focusing on DPs or Dragon Punches.
Let's get it started.
I made a video about this in the past from a request I've received from someone on Discord, and it was a few years back. It had no audio and was made directly on my PlayStation. So I figured I would give you guys a better explanation on how to set up the training dummy to maximize your training mode efficiency. The first thing we're going to want to do is go into the menu and go to shortcut settings, and we're going to make sure that this restart battle option is on. This is just generally really useful, and when we have this on, it allows us just to press a single button and reset back to the starting position. I'm also going to be starting off with Ryu, as he's the most basic character in Street Fighter V. Very popular character. I mean, it's Ryu, he's the face of the franchise. And he's pretty standard, he's got a DP. That's kind of what we're really trying to practice. You can also use any character that has a DP. Ken, Kage, to name a couple extra. I've got Lucia as my training dummy. And I like to use Lucia because she's got a good jump medium kick, and that's going to be for cross-ups. Now you can use any character as your dummy. You can use Ken or Kage as well. Sakura, anyone really works, except for maybe Balrog, as he doesn't have a cross-up. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go reset, and then we're going to go into the menu, and we're going to press the right button here until we see dummy settings. First option up there, status. We're actually going to hit the right a few times until we come to Playback Recording. This is where we can record a sequence using the training dummy and then play it back later. So let's go ahead and select recording slot number 1. And the first thing we're going to record is just a standard jump in. I will use jump medium kick, just like this, but you can use any button you prefer. You can use a jump heavy kick or jump heavy punch, depending on the character. I'm just using a medium kick because that's just what I'm going to be using for every single slot. On the second slot, so actually we're going to go back and reset, and then we're going to go back into recording settings again. We're going to go to recording slot number 2. This time we're going to do a micro step and a nice cross up, like just a nice tight cross up. Then we'll reset again, and then for number 3, we will walk forward and do another one, but a little bit farther away. It's not that much different, but it is slightly different. So we got 2 different cross ups and then just a standard jump in. So we'll go back and reset back to neutral. We're gonna go to action playback settings, and you'll see there's 3 slots available here for each slot that we just recorded. So we'll turn on slot number 1, and Lucia is going to immediately jump at us, and then we are going to anti-air it. And with Ryu, you typically want to use a medium DP, and the reason is it's got anti-air properties. This will beat pretty much any air move except for a fireball, because that's a projectile. We're just going to do this until we get it down, which, this is pretty standard. And I'm hitting reset just so we can quickly go back and do it again. Once we've kind of got this mastered, or done it several times without messing it up, we'll just hit start. Actually, yeah, let's hit start, action playback setting. Let's just go ahead and turn off that recording. And then we'll reset back to neutral. Go back in and turn on number 2. Now, as you may recall, this is going to be a cross-up. So this is going to be a little trickier, especially if you're newer to the game. We're going to use an autocorrect method. That's just what this is really called. There's different names for it: autocorrect, crosscut. We're going to be using the autocorrect function. So what we're going to actually do is, I'll just go back here. We're going to use our normal DP input, which is just forward, down, forward. And then we're going to delay it a little bit until our opponent jumps over us, and then we'll hit the punch button. So let's see what that looks like. Reset. Turn on number 2. Oh, kind of missed it. See? There we go. Takes a little practice. I'm not perfect at it. You can see I'm doing the same input as before, but I'm kind of delaying it just a little bit until she gets over us, and then we cross-cut it. Or autocorrect it. We just want to do this until we get it down. Which, you know, I think I missed the first one, but, you know, we won't count that one. And then I just immediately hit reset once we land it. We don't need to worry about her landing and doing it again. We just want to just rapid fire this off, right? Just get as many reps in as possible. So we've got that down pretty well here. So we'll actually turn on recording number 3. So this one's going to be, actually before I record it, let's reset. Now this one's going to be a little different. This is going to be a crosscut without the autocorrect. And what that's going to look like is we're going to actually walk forward just like a step, and then we're going to do a half circle back. And then press our DP button, which is punch for Ryu. And the reason why we do this method is Street Fighter V has a very generous input buffer. So it's actually going to keep that forward input, and then as our opponent jumps over us, we half circle back. You can see my inputs there. That actually is going to give us the down forward that we need to complete the DP input. It's a pretty creative way of doing this, and it's really just because of the way the input buffer works in this game. So we'll reset again, turn on recording slot number 3, and you can see my inputs there: forward, down, down, forward, down, down, back, back, right? But when she gets on the other side of us, it's actually a down forward. So, whoops, I didn't get my, there we go. You don't always want to use this method. I like the autocorrect when it's like a super tight cross-up. See, I'm trying to do the autocorrect here. It doesn't always work, but I'm not like super good at it. I usually like to do the half circle method in this situation. It's a lot more consistent for me, but you know, you may be a little bit different. You just watch my input. It's a half circle forward, half circle back. You can be like really delayed. He's got a great medium DP. Now you can use the light with Ryu and actually get a combo off of it, but it does lose the anti-air property and can trade, just like that did. So, and there are some weird situations you can come up with where it does trade. Let's see if we can get one here. Nope. Nope. So you can still actually get the hit, which is kind of cool. You can do this with Ken. I know that. You might even be able to get like a super, but I'm not really too concerned about that. But you can at least get something. But medium DP is really what you want to focus on for this. So what actually I'm going to do next is reset, or turn off the recording, reset back to neutral, and we're going to actually turn on all 3 options. So this will force us to react on the fly. So Lucia is going to do a jump in or either of those 2 cross-ups we have. We actually don't know which one she's going to do. And that's really crucial to this exercise because, you know, if you know she's going to jump at you, it's pretty easy to DP it, right? Because you know it's coming. But if you don't know which one is coming, it makes it a little bit harder. So this is like great practice for you know, mastering the DP. So let's go ahead and turn on all 3. But missed it. Okay, we're getting there. Just like that. You can do whichever methods you want. Oh, missed that one. I tried to do the autocorrect and I failed. But just over time, it's gonna get easier, and you're just gonna, it's just gonna be automatic for you. So just keep doing this. It's gonna take a while to really get the muscle memory down. I promise once you do, it will be worth it. Especially if you're a newer player. You know, lower level players, and when I say lower level, I mean like gold and below. People really like to jump at you. And if you are able to shut this down, your opponent may not really have a great other way of attacking you. Maybe their neutral's not so good, so they rely on jump-ins for pressure. And a lot of people don't anti-air at lower ranks, so they're allowed to jump in and just get free pressure. So if you can shut that down, you may just get a lot of wins. Plus, mastering the DP is important because it does a lot more damage than, say, a Crouch Heavy Punch. Crouch Heavy Punch does 84 damage, a DP does 120. Pretty big difference there, so it's definitely well worth it. Now, you can always do Crouch Heavy Punch if you need to. I mean, it's better than doing nothing and just blocking, so. But just master this, and things will be a lot easier for you. What we can also do, I mean, this works for other characters as well. We can select Cammy, Luke, or Jury, just really anyone with a medium or an invincible DP. So Ken, Cammy, Nikali, I believe has one, Zeku, Seth, Akira, Oro. Granted, he's a charge character, so I'm not really kind of focusing on charge characters. Lucia also has one. Obviously Ryu. Went over that one. Jury. Ed's EXDP is Luke, Kage, and Akuma. These characters all have a medium DP that will work. And I also miss Sagat. Sagat can do that too, but I believe you actually want to use the light DP with him. So let's just select Cammy, and we'll leave the same settings on. We'll just use a different character. I usually use Ryu for these types of videos because, you know, he's very basic. But we'll just try someone else here real quick. We've already got all three settings turned on, so we're just going to do the same thing. With medium, Cannon Spike, or her DP. You can see the different methods I'm using on the inputs. That's pretty much it. There's really not much else to this. If you really want to get spicy, you can add another option under the recording, so you can go to like slot number 4, and you can just like have her dash jump, or I'm sorry, dash jab or dash throw, and you can kind of mix that in. That way, you know, she'll jump or dash at you, and you can practice defending or checking the dash. That's going to be a little bit more advanced, but it will help you in the long run as you start to improve. Hopefully this was a little bit more helpful than my previous video was on this topic. I may make more videos like this in the future. I know this game is kind of at the end, but I figured it would be a good idea to make a more definitive guide than the one that I had before, just explaining how the training mode works pertaining to anti-air training. If it helped you, you know, leave a like, or leave me a comment if you have any questions. I also stream on Twitch on the weekends, and I do have a link. I'd be more than happy to have you come through, and you know, if you have any questions, you can chat me up, or maybe we can play some sets, or maybe I can watch a replay. I'm always down to help new players learn the game, and I know we've got Street Fighter 6 on the horizon, so I know a lot of people are picking up Street Fighter 5 and kind of just learning the basics. It's a great time to do that because a lot of this is going to carry over into Street Fighter 6. It may not look the same, but a lot of these mechanics, I'm assuming the DPs will still be the same. They were the same in Street Fighter 4. So thank you very much for coming through, and I appreciate your time.